gonna have a little bit of fun today in the shop and do some tool cleaning, and I'm gonna put to use my Evapo-Rust right here, and I've used this before and it works really well. So I've got an assortment of C-clamps here, and these are all flea market finds or antique store finds, and every one of them are Williams or Armstrong with the exception of this one right here. This is a Hargrave. All right, but I usually pick these up whenever they're $5 or less because you can't ever have too many good C-clamps, and they're all good quality. I especially love this guy right here. I love these heavy duty ones. All right, this one is a Williams heavy duty C-clamp. We've also got a tap wrench here. I got this from Andrew Alexander. This is a copy of an SW card style of tap wrench, which is one of my personal favorites. But I don't know if this is an import or if this is a reproduction or what. You know, there's no maker's mark on this, but I just know that the design is a copy of a card. So we're going to drop that in there and see how that turns out. I've also got this Nicholson Mill Smooth file. I think I paid like $1 for this thing because it still felt like it had a good edge. It hadn't been used. I think it's just been sitting around for a long time collecting rust. So I'm going to try this. I've never used Evaporust on a file before, so I want to see how it works. So that's what we're going to do. I got us a brand new container that I picked up right here, this hefty container, and we'll stack them all up in that, fill it up. I'm going to monitor it today to see, since we've got a brand new jug of Evaporust, we're going to see about how long it takes. I normally soak this stuff for at least a day, 24 hours. I'll soak it and it'll come out the next evening, and then I'll pull them out and clean them up. So let's go ahead and get them in there and let them soak and see how these things turn out. Whenever you're using this Evaporust, you want to have a container that you can at least cover up or have a lid on. So I bought this one just so I'd have a dedicated container to keep this stuff in and keep it contained and keep it from the liquid from evaporating. So we're just going to stack all these things up in here as tightly as we can, and then we'll fill it up. We can fit some of our tap wrench there. We'll put our file down here in the bottom there. Just about made it there. Only one that's sticking out I think is this, but I think I can reposition it. All right, there we go. So I'm going to start the clock. I'm going to monitor the time. So it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 a.m. So we'll take note of how long they soak, and I'll pull them out periodically and check them. All right. So we'll bring you guys back later. While we got our C-clamp soaking in the Evaporust, I wanted to take this other tap wrench. Now this is another one that Andrew Alexander gave me. It's just like the one that we have soaking in the Evaporust there. This one was just too big to fit in this container that I got, so I just decided to clean this up by hand. But as I was saying, that I believed that this was a copy of SW card tap wrench. And as I was cleaning this thing up, lo and behold, there's the maker's mark on the very end right there. It says Card USA number 9. And as soon as I saw that, I was just very tickled that this is a genuine card tap wrench, because I thought it was a remake from overseas or something. Now this is also a card number 9, and this is one that I cherish. I bought it at the local flea market for $5, and it's also a card number 9. It just got a different stamp there. SW Card Manufacturing Company, patented March 26, 1901, number 9. This thing was completely rusted up, and I did the same thing back then. I actually cleaned it up, and I use this every now and then. I absolutely love it. But you can see it's the same tap wrench. Okay, it's just this is a newer model, and this is an older model right there. So what we're going to do, I've got this thing cleaned up very nicely. On the inside of the jaws right there, I've still got a little rust inside there that I would like to clean up. All right, so I'm going to use the Evaporust gel, and we'll pour a little of this out and use an acid brush, and we'll get in there and we'll put a little bit of this gel inside the jaws there to remove that rust from it. Okay, we'll just squeeze a little bit out. This stuff is pretty tacky. It's like slime, man. Just making sure that it's getting good contact in there. Put it on the sides. This stuff was designed for vertical surfaces, or I would assume large areas too, that maybe it's harder to actually get a soak in. So you could use this on a surface, say like I'd like to try it on a section of the trailer and see how it does, and just cover it up with some plastic to try to keep it from evaporating. All right, so we got it in there. And it said to give it, 1 to 2 hours, so we'll check it in a little while and see how it does. All right. So it's been 4 hours since I put the gel on the tap wrench, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. By the way, I did wrap it up in this plastic so that it doesn't try to evaporate the liquid. So, all right, there you go. There's a shot of it, and looks like it's done its job. I don't see the rust in there anymore, so what I'm going to do, let's move this out of the way. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it out with this rag here. And you can see the oxide on it. Oh yeah, it's working good. It's getting it right on out of there. All right, well, you can see where the Evaporust has discolored the metal here on the outside where I got it. So I'm gonna hit this again on the wire brush and clean that up. But that was a very simple and easy way to remove that rust from the inside part of this tap wrench right here. And it's actually, looks like I'm still wiping some of the iron oxide off of it. So I just need to clean this up a little bit more by hand, but it did a good job. There it is, cleaned up again. We got the rust out of the inside. It's looking good. Now what I might do with this later is cold blue the inside of the body right there. It was originally painted black, so we may do a cold blue, but I definitely want to leave the handles polished like they are. I need to give them another polish. I've already got that stuff on the outside there and there. But we may come back and look at this with a completed black oxide center right there. So it's been 5 hours now since we put our C-clamps in the Evaporust. It's now 1 o'clock. So let's take a look and see how they're doing. And you can see that it's doing its job. Definitely. It starts turning into more of a dull gray color whenever it starts cleaning all the iron oxides off of there. So let's pull a couple out and just look at them and see if they're actually done. Like this guy right here, we can go ahead and pull it out. Now see, once you pull them out of here, we got to do a clean. So what I usually like to do is just rinse them in water. I go outside and rinse them off with a water hose, and it kind of blasts some of this black oxide off of it. And then after I do that, I will coat them things down to keep them from rusting anymore. So that one's good to go. Some of them we're probably going to have to brush a little bit. This one looks like it's ready to be pulled out. See, as you rub it, you start removing that rust off of the surface right there. So this one could be rinsed off. What a difference, man. This one's got some kind of white substance on it that was already on there. I'm not sure what that was. This one I think needs to continue to soak a little bit. It's still a little bit, there's still a little bit left on there. We're going to put that one back in, and you can see like the big one down there still got, it's still got some rust on it right there. Yep, so it's still working on that. But let's look at that file. So the file looks like it's ready to come out as well. We can go ahead and brush this thing off and clean it up, but now you can actually see what it says there on the file. So we'll take these three. I'm going to put this one back in here. Actually, I'm going to take it out there and clean and get the rest of this white stuff off of it, because it's starting to mix in there and make the water look nasty. This is usually how I clean them off after I soak in Evapo-Rust. I come out here with my water hose and I just kind of rinse them off like this. And you can see all that stuff that it's blowing off of them. And I have a brush. I have a brush where I'll scrub them too. And you can just take a brush like this or whatever, and go ahead and give them a scrub, and it'll knock off any more of that loose iron oxide. Getting that file cleaned a little bit. Alright, now we'll go in there and we'll blow them off, clean them good, and keep going with it. Now I usually just like to give them a blow dry with the compressed air. That usually works pretty good. If you don't have compressed air, another good way to do it is to just kind of wipe them dry and then get you some WD-40, and you can spray down with WD-40, and that will help remove the water as well. Alright, but you definitely need to get them rinsed off and, you know, clean them off and wipe them off, and then you can go from there. So these are looking pretty good. You can leave them just like this, I mean, because you've removed the ugly, nasty looking rust off of it. Or you can take it further and wire brush them if you want to kind of brighten them up, and then paint them or black oxide them or whatever you want to do. A lot of people just like to clean them up and use them like that, and typically these C-clamps like this, that's all I ever do to them is just de-rust them, and then I hang them on the wall and use them. It's just, it makes a nicer tool when you don't have a bunch of rust on here. So real happy with these right here, and the file did pretty good. So I'm going to do some test cuts with it and see how it does. This is a Mill Bastard, by the way, Nicholson, made in USA file. We're 7 hours into our soak now, and I wanted to go ahead and remove the tap wrench that we put in there. All right, so the C-clamps are still doing well, but I want to get in here and get this guy because it's well cleaned up. You can see there it's gotten all the rust off of it. So while those are continuing to soak, I want to go ahead and do a cleanup and probably a restoration on this right here. Restoration meaning cleaning it up, polishing it, and probably re-blue the center of it right here. I've been doing that on a couple of the tools in the meantime, and just kind of enjoying the day doing that. So just getting this thing wiped off. I didn't rinse this one off, I just wiped it. So this is a card number 7 tap wrench. Alright, so here's the card number 7 after wire brushing and then hitting the handles with the Scotch-Brite. Also Scotch-Brited the block there, and then this jaw right here, which you can easily take out right there. So now I'm going to tape it off and do some cold bluing in the middle here. And that should finish it up. I'll have to do some final polishing on the handles once I do the bluing, because I'll transfer a little bit down there just handling it. Got her taped up using Brownell's Oxbow Blue. We've now been doing an 8-hour soak on these tools, so I'm ready to go ahead and pull them out and get them finished out for the day. And it looks like the rest of them are good. Maybe that one on the bottom, the biggest one, still might need a little bit of soaking. So let's go ahead and pull these out and check them out. That one looks great. Cleaned off very well. This one looks like it's good too. It's even loosened up that blue paint that somebody rubbed on there. This looks like this is paint up in here. This isn't rust. All right, last one. This is the one that looks like it may not be soaked long enough, but it might be. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take it out, and I'm going to scrub it with the bristle brush outside and rinse it off and see where we're at. So there's the rest of our C-clamps derusted, and I've got them blown off and dry, so they're ready to go. And this batch of C-clamps I'm going to leave just like that. I'm not going to do any more cleaning or polishing on them. That's just how I like to use those. Just clean them up, make them look good. But what we're going to do is now we're going to use this rust block from Evaporust, and this is supposed to be, gives it protection from rust up to 1 year, and it's supposed to dry. You spray it on and it dries. So let's see what how this stuff sprays here. Okay. It says to let it dry, so we're just gonna coat them down like that. So this must be going to apply some kind of film to it to help protect it from moisture getting on the metal. All right, there we go. I'm just going to let those guys dry. This Williams heavy duty clamp, I actually want to brighten it up on the wire wheel. I just like the way that looks on there. So we've already got the screw wire brushed, got it looking good, and you can see the difference there. So there's the rest of the batch. Here's our 1-inch Williams heavy duty C-clamp that I have fully restored. We derusted it and I blued it, polished the screw a little bit. Absolutely love that. That screw works great. I love these C-clamps right here. Heavy service. Absolutely love those things. Now we have our card number 9 tap wrench that we restored. Looks really good. And we got our card number 7. Everything turned out really good. Really happy with everything. So it's been a great day today in the shop. I didn't want to focus on the next project or machining or anything like that. I wanted to come out in the shop today and work on some of my tools, and this is some stuff that I've had that's been on my mind. I wanted to get to it and put the Evaporust to use and restore a couple hand tools. So really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. I've got some more tools that I want to try with the Evaporust. I got some milling cutters and some end mills that I want to clean up, so we'll come back again another time and try those out. All right, see you guys next time.